like this. If he comes over, well, I mean, like, when he comes over, oops, I have to stay in contact. See? So when he comes over, he might end up like this. So this is fist under elbow, and this is fist under elbow. It doesn't have to be this way. So that's why in the form we just do it like this. Because it might be this way, it might be that way. So I think all of these little details are extremely interesting and helpful. Because you have to know why you're doing all this stuff and sometimes why you're not doing stuff. So again, taking just the substantial arm. You're going to open, close. It's going to make it go in a circle and come up. That's it. So practice that a few times. Like I say, the big bird look, but now without this arm. Just open. Now close the claw. Now this pulls it in. And remember, lead with the tiger's mouth. Don't lead with the back of the wrist. Don't let this happen. It's not like this. It's like you're kind of drawing a gun here. So open, back, close, and now it opens part way. And this comes up. Now, once you've done it a few times and you feel like you feel a good connection to this, now add the other arm. Make sure this is sort of on automatic. Now, what does that mean? Open, and now let the other arm just kind of do whatever it wants to do, and you'll discover it wants to make a little swing of coming like this. But it doesn't feel like doing that unless you have a substantial control of the other arm. You didn't let it go. See here, boom, now you did this, but you just sort of held this here and put it like this. I'm saying when you open, now when I close, see that? That action makes this arm make this circle. So open, close, so.
Can you comment on the emptiness of this leg at this point?
Well,
The point of that.
that's the last thing. I mean, first it's like left arm, right arm. Now when you close again, left arm, right arm, foot. Last thing happens.
But I mean, what is it? Is it like a kick?
No, it's not a kick at all.
Just a step?
No,
empty,
it's just like you just coming back and it's just empty, that's all.
Okay.
And what happens next is when the person's trying to give you this fist under elbow, right? You pull this up like this. Well, what you want to do is sort of pull me into it. Right, there we go. So the normal thing to do here is control this arm, that kills this punch. And that's the beginning of monkey. So back, other leg. Boom. All right, here we are. Boom, boom, boom. So, right, so somebody pulls this hand down, and that is intended to kill this punch. So just as this punch is coming in, this goes down. And then you turn it over and it turns into monkey. So just remember, this is a common theme among the martial applications, is you control one side of the body to kill the power from the other side. Again, you might say, wait a minute, is that Tai Chi Chuan? No, that's barroom brawlers in Beijing.
You got a new script there.
The Tai Chi Chuan form is not the bad guy is not doing Tai Chi Chuan. He's doing anything the hell he wants. And so you can't criticize and say, oh, that could never happen because he's being double weighted there. Screw you. He'll be as double weighted as he wants. So, like I say, there's two very good sources of what I call it, melodies, you might say. See, think of it this way. The form, or the Kaiji principle is kind of like music theory, but the different, applications are kind of like tunes, sort of like, and so you need both really to be a musician. You can just, you have to be able to sort of integrate these tunes into what's happening. So all the 8 trigram postures are just like the tunes that you find in people boxing. They just do stuff like this. So that's why in the form, you don't try to restrict the bad guy to any sort of principled behavior. Instead, you're just saying, the guys do this. And when they may not even be very wise, it would be a double death or something, but they still do it. So when they do it, actually the very first kind of stuff we were learning from Mr. Jew, Marty and I objected to this push. We said, that's, what's that? I mean, that's not very powerful. That's not going to kill anyone. What is that? Why are we even doing that? And it's funny because we got into this conversation and we stopped in this bar or something on the way home. I don't know why. And we saw a fight start. That's the way it started. And we realized, guys constantly start fights this way. So you can't just say that's not a very good thing to do, so we won't practice it, because people do it all the time. And of course, it is quite dangerous, because if you can sort of discombobulate the person like this, then of course anything you do after that is very deadly. So it's not a completely useless thing to do. But the funny thing was that it started exactly after we said, this is not very realistic. And then we saw this and we said, oh my God, I've been a bartender. And I realized, I've seen this thousands of times. Guys turn to each other and go, hey, boom, and they shove each other like this. So it's a good thing to know. Anyway, but you don't see that in Sanshou. You don't see anything but 2 Taiji masters in Sanshou. So in Sanshou, everything is, very, very good, very perfect. But in the form, you are perfect. Well, you're not even perfect. You do some things that are kind of funny. Like in the kicks, you sort of let the person go away from you and you kick him at the same time. That's the form. But actually, that's violating the principle of, staying with his sitter. So sometimes you see the principle being violated a little bit in these forms, especially the old ones. The old forms, you go like, it's a little bit iffy. But like I say, they are tunes that you have to know, kind of. You have to sort of integrate that into what you're doing. Okay, so let's look at the monkey now. As I say, monkey concept is somebody is pulling your hand down just to kill this punch. All right? Now, when somebody does that, he's presumably doing it on the same side here. So when I sink this down, also, this is a classic way of getting rid of a palm to the chest. Push it down like this, if your hands are up. When you palms the chest, so you're controlling the wrist. What you want to do is turn this over, like this, and then pull him down. Sink down. Back. There we go. That's it. Right. Now, look what happens if you pull back. It's completely weak. But when you sink down, it's definitely powerful. So that's why the monkey form doesn't look like this. But it's down.
Oh, nice.
Down. Woo. Down. Very important. Okay, so we know 2 applications of monkey. This is the simpler application. The application you see in Sanshou is the really sophisticated application. Yes, this is and this shows the evolution of the form from big to small. And I think this is a lot of fun to do, and you can go home and work on it. But when you're doing the form, you're going like this. And as you speed up, circles get smaller, and steps are faster, and all of a sudden you're doing this. And you can also reverse that process. You can start off doing this and make it bigger, 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 until finally you But this one is the way it appears in Sanshou, and this one is the way it appears in the form. And they're completely different meanings. In the form, you're showing somebody forcing this down. You just go down with them and control them like this. This is the monkey paw in the chest. Whereas in Sanshou, somebody's giving you this tiger palm. Can you do that? So you reach up, try to turn. So do this. That was too wide. See, notice I don't, when somebody attacks you, don't have any preference as to whether you're on the inside or the outside. He attacked me wide enough so when I put up my hand, it's on the outside. The tiger palm, by its nature, so you had to really shift. Just leave it there. When I do this, no. Don't try to swing it under. No, just let it go over.
Oh, of course.
See, in other words, if you come inside here, I don't try to do it like this. I just go with
Oh, how nice. Oh, my God.
That's monkey.
Yeah.
So, even with box ears, kind of interesting. When somebody boxes your ears, box my ears, I can intercept on the inside, like this. I'll do it again. But on the outside, like this. But also he does it, one hand might be inside and the other outside. And you have this, hit tiger. So you don't try to go like, you just put your hands up. If they're inside, outside. If one is inside, one is outside, you don't care. Because when that happens, like you try one inside and one outside. No, I'm going to box your ears. No, put one outside and one inside. No, here, like this. No. There we go. I think that's right. Right. So what happens here? This will naturally close this in. Do it to me again. So here, try to come up here. So here. Now, see how this naturally wants to cross over and then this separates.
Oh,
it's tight. And turns it into
Gary faints.
And if it's on the other side, it goes the other way. And it's a little bit different depending on which leg is forward and which leg is backward. But that's the kind of thing you experiment with, your fellow students with. You learn the application, and then you try every possible little variation of it. Forward, backward, whatever. Okay, let's do the monkey again. So think, somebody is pushing this down. When they do, you completely yield. You don't resist it at all, and then you turn it over, like this. Now, this is another example of how you use jig. Let's see. When you force this down, let's see. When you force this down like this, I want to turn it over, okay? Now, obviously, just hold it tight. Obviously, don't let me turn it over. So, but this is just me using my arm. So it's going to be very hard to turn this over. Now, of course, if I use the whole body, that's easier to turn it over. But even that's kind of crude. Because all you have to do is keep me from doing this. I can't do anything. But now I think, so what did I do? I turned this motion into something much softer, like a whip. So it finally whips out at the end. So you try it now. So try all the different variations. First, just try to turn it over. See? I'm just stronger than you, so you can't do that. Then use the whole motion of the body to do it. Right. But now do that again. Now, because I won't let you go this way, but now think, okay, I'll just be real loose and whip it over. That's the idea.
Wow.
However, when you did it, you still
A little bit up.
you moved it like this. No, it's got to be completely loose. It can't. It's like a whip. The end of the whip has to be loose. It can't be stiff. So you got to make your arm very soft when you turn it, and then make this turn at the very last second.
Oh.
No, you're still turning it over first.
Yeah.
You want to put completely loose, like this. That's it. Good. Okay. That's what you're learning to do.
It really just like making this the handle of the whip. And don't forget
Yeah.
worry about this.
Exactly. If you put strength into it, it just ruins it. So that's the feeling here.
Huh.
You're using the waist to turn this over.